Welcome to the Peace Islands Institute Public Heroes event tonight, and it's great to be back and to see all of you here. I know many of you, and you all look great, and even the people I don't know, you all look great. Okay, that's only the first thing I've dropped today. So why don't we just begin by going, oh, by the way, just in case you wanted to know, my name is Rob Reed. I'm with the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General. And why they decided, well, as I was saying to somebody else, they tried to get LeBron James to be the MC, but, they wanted me for some reason, maybe because I was a little less expensive. But anyway, why don't we start by watching a video of what happened last year. Gosh, what could be better than that? So that was last year, and Peace Islands does a phenomenal job at putting these events together. I've been at quite a few of them over the years, and they're just great at recognizing people who deserve to be recognized because of what they do for their organizations, what they do for the community, for what they do for the public. And so here we are to honor 6 more folks who have done all that, and you're going to meet them tonight in the 2023 Peace Islands Public Heroes Appreciation Dinner. Let me just say this, that I was thinking this idea of stronger together. Actually, I was in a conference this morning, and I started talking about what was happening tonight. And but stronger together, it made me think of an individual, and some of you may recall this name. His name is Frank Borman. Frank Borman died recently. He was the commander of Apollo 8. And for those of you who love the space program like I did, this is going to come down to earth in a second. But the thing about Apollo 8 was it was the first time that any mission had gone around the moon. It was right around Christmas of 1968. 7 months before we landed on the moon, and but for Apollo 8, we never would have landed on the moon. But when they went around the moon a couple of times, they had a broadcast from the moon. And Frank Borman, being the commander, started out this presentation from the capsule, from the command module, and he began by showing a picture of the Earth. And this is that picture. And we as human beings had never really seen the Earth from the moon, certainly ever taken by human hands. And to me, it was an astonishing, moving moment. I was 14. That doesn't mean I'm not 25 now, but I was 14 years old, and I remember being so moved. And then they started to read the first words of the Bible. And one of the astronauts said, and I'm quoting, "We are now approaching lunar sunrise, and for all the people back on Earth, the crew of Apollo 8 has a message that we would like to send to you." And they began to read, "In the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters." And they went and they read through this whole portion of Genesis, and it was amazing. To me, stronger together, when you look at that earth and the beauty of that globe, the only place with life as far as we know today, and you think of how much better we will be or should be if we were all working together and being together and understanding our common humanity. Because we are this little island in this massive, massive universe. So I love the idea of Stronger Together, because here we see people from law enforcement, and we'll call it civil society because that's the phrase I learned in Germany. And we are all coming to here to honor people who are actually serving the public and trying to make a difference. And so together, when we're here, across religions, across gender, across faiths, here we are together, all breaking bread together, being together, and I believe making a difference in our own lives and for everyone in our community. So again, I say welcome. What I'd like to do is just tell you that we are going to go and have a number of presentations initially, and then we're going to go on and have our, and that's going to include our keynote speaker, who's a big surprise, unless you've opened up your booklet. So don't open up your booklet because it's a big surprise. It's coming up soon, so hold your horses. And then we're going to have dinner. And and I know it will be delicious because I've been in this very room before. And then we're going to, and I'm not sure if this is the time to have a video of the honorees, or you tell me. There you go. We are in the 21st century. All right, so now we're going to have a special presentation. We're going to have the color guard come out, and we are very fortunate to have the color guard here. And we're going to have, I believe, not only the Pledge of Allegiance, but we're going to have the national anthem. Is that correct? So here we go. And I want to thank the color guards. It's Corporal Bryn Coyle and the Police Explorers. So thank you very much for that, as well as for the pianist, Arifa Hakindolo. Hope I got that right. Or it was in All right, moving right along. So it gives me my great honor to introduce the president of the board of the Peace Islands Institute, Lowell Gustafson, and he is got an amazing, amazing guy. Now, that's not the way you're supposed to introduce somebody, amazing guy, but I can't help it. I've just got to read this. He's a distinguished scholar in the Department of Political Science at Villanova University's College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. He has a PhD in Foreign Affairs from the University of Virginia and an amazing academic background. He's a prolific writer, and he's left a huge mark on the fields of Latin American policies, politics, and international relations. He's written an array of books. I can't even say them because they're too complicated. But one involved the Falkland Islands and Thucydides' theory of international relations. It's something that I expect all of you will read tonight when you go home. I know I will. But anyway, this is amazing stuff because I want you to know that I was a political science major in college and I got a master's degree in international relations. So we'll talk later. Okay. But anyway, without blabbing on more, I would like to introduce Dr. Lowell Gustafson for his welcome remarks.
Thanks, Robert. The first rule of political science is never raise expectations because, I didn't even come close to that, but it's really nice to hear it. I'm sure I'd like to meet that guy. But in any case, really, on behalf of the entire board here of Peace Islands Institute, Pennsylvania, it's just my pleasure to welcome you to our 2023 annual Public Heroes Appreciation Dinner. Thank you for taking the time here tonight to be here with us this evening. As Robert said, it is my honor to serve as president of Peace Islands, and we are grateful that all of you, our distinguished guests, have joined us here tonight as together we recognize those who share the mission of Peace Islands, which seeks to promote a civil society based on shared human values and to advance the aims of justice and human rights through education, dialogue, and collaboration. All of us here deeply appreciate those who are striving tirelessly for a peaceful community. Their hard work and unwavering dedication do not go unnoticed, and we recognize their relentless efforts to serve, often making sacrifices to ensure the progress of our local communities. It's our honor to present awards to distinguished members of our community, acknowledging them for their exceptional dedication. Equally important tonight is the opportunity during this time for all of us together to initiate, renew, and strengthen our relationships with members from institutions from throughout our community. Since our establishment, Peace Islands Institute has worked to develop relations with those who maintain the rule of law, serve those in need, and foster our shared humanity. We share with these agents of change by establishing dialogue among peoples of different faiths and cultures and creating projects with educators, students, business leaders, law enforcement agencies, and other community leaders to overcome the suspicions that can be overcome through learning, active listening, education, and genuine care for each other. As William Penn, the founder of our Commonwealth, said, "He that has more knowledge than judgment is made for another man's use more than his own." We have come to know our awardees and every person here as among those who have devoted themselves to use their knowledge in the service of others. And so I'd just like to conclude by briefly thanking all of my fellow board members, our executive director, Saeed Salman, and all of our volunteers, our donors, and sponsors of Peace Islands and tonight's dinner. Thank you to all of our guests here tonight who who form a network of relationships committed to justice and human rights. Thank you, and welcome.
Okay, so you have been formally welcomed. You feel better now? Okay. So and the person who I'm about to introduce is shaking your head and saying, oh my God. So it is a distinct honor for me to introduce as our keynote speaker a former colleague of mine. Back in the day, I called her Jackie. No more. I don't call her Jackie anymore, but I'm going to keep calling her Jackie till I stop calling her Jackie. Jacqueline Romero is the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. That's a really big deal. Let me tell you, it's a big deal. And I was in the Department of Justice for 35 years, and I worked under many U.S. attorneys. And I know what a big deal it is because you are the chief law enforcement official within a specified area of the country. In this case, it's the 9 counties of the Eastern District. So think about it. I believe that the U.S. attorney here is the only person in this room who was nominated by the President of the United States for her position. She was then confirmed unanimously by the Senate, and she was sworn in on June 21st, 2022. And she is the 40th U.S. attorney for this district. And do you know when, this is a trivia question, and you can't answer, when was the first U.S. attorney appointed? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, since you're silent, the answer is 1789. So the Judiciary Act of 1789 was passed that year, and the U.S. Attorney's Office, I don't know if that has anything to do with the Judiciary Act, but anyway, was first selected, and Jacqueline Romero is the 40th. And she's also the first woman to be nominated and confirmed as U.S. Attorney. I think that deserves an applause. Thank you. I am no longer in the U.S. Attorney's Office. I left 6 years ago, but I have many contacts in the U.S. Attorney's Office. And let me just say, to be totally appropriate, that one of the things that this U.S. Attorney has done is to bring a camaraderie and morale back to the U.S. Attorney's Office that may have been lacking for some period of time. And which is a great thing, because when you do the kinds of serious work that you do in both the criminal and the civil side, and you handle some of the most serious criminal cases and some of the biggest civil cases in the United States in this area, it's important that the people who are working there and working for you feel good about where they're working, and they do now. So I will just say that one area, and there's so many things you could really say about the U.S. Attorney, but one of the things I will say is that we worked on some projects before the U.S. Attorney was the U.S. Attorney. And one of them was we both worked on prisoner reentry, and something there in Philadelphia, the district court here, the U.S. District Court, created the first reentry court in the United States in 2007. And so then Jackie worked on that for years. And it is still going 16 years later, which is just amazing. And it's been a model for other courts around the country. So anyway, I am going to shut up, and I'm going to appropriately ask you to welcome the United States Attorney Jacqueline Romero.
I'd really like to cue that music every time I walk into a room. It's amazing. And Rob Reed called me a big deal and a hero, all in the same almost sentence. That was amazing. I really want to thank Peace Islands Institute for having this event to recognize our public servants. We are often criticized, and that's fair, right? We're here to answer to the public, and when the public has concerns, bring the criticism. But it's a rare moment when we actually have a night to get to recognize the difficult work that people are doing out in the community. You can call me a hero, but honestly, the heroes are the people that I work with, the assistant U.S. attorneys who are back in the office right now, getting cases ready for trial tomorrow. My incredible community engagement staff that's with me tonight, they're out in the community 24/7, engaging people, talking to different groups, making sure that we're meeting the needs of the community. Our support staff that makes sure we have the technology and the stuff that it works, they're the heroes. These are folks who, much like our honorees tonight, miss holidays sometimes because crime doesn't stop for us, right? We've got a birthday of a child that we need to be at. We've got a holiday or something along those lines. Public service is public service, and it's any hour of the day, and it requires everything of you as a public servant. And so if we can just get a round of applause for my fellow honorees for the work that they've done. The theme of tonight is Stronger Together, and that's really what I want to reflect on in my remarks. People like to laugh. All the lessons I talk about that I've learned in life go back to my family diner in New Jersey, but yeah, there's going to be a story here, so bear with me while I tell you a little bit about that. My grandfather, Diego, came to this country as an immigrant at the age of 16, and he was alone and with very little money. But he was rich with faith, is what I like to call it. Faith in our Constitution and the rights it would give him, and faith in human kindness and strength and resiliency. He arrived with just a piece of paper in his pocket. It had the phone number of a boarding house in Tenafly, New Jersey. That's the town that would eventually become my hometown, where several guys he knew from his hometown in Spain were now living. And intuitively, he just knew that he could not make it on his own here, alone at 16, with little money. He would be stronger together with them. And so he took a leap of faith. And he made his way to that boarding house, hoping that they would help him find a job and find his way in America. And they did. Because he was a skilled mason, they were able to help him find work, laying roads, building things. And he helped them learn new skills like masonry because he was so good at it. They helped each other. And after working various jobs for many years, he saved up his money. He bought a piece of land in Tenafly, and he built along the side of the road a little bodega because he had kind of a vision for this. He wanted to help out the laborers he had worked side by side with. He wanted to create a business where they could gather. talk to one another in Spanish, would be accepted, get sandwiches to take to the job, pick up the newspaper, snacks, and things like that. It would be a gathering place, a place where they could make conversation and jokes and talk about things that might lighten their day, quite literally. He knew from his own experience coming to this country that we as human beings on this difficult journey we like to call life are stronger together. And his bodega became a thriving business where the first generation Americans would gather and support one another, help each other out. Later, when diners became fashionable, my grandfather, because he was a Mason again, built the bodega up into a diner. He built a home behind the diner where he and my grandmother lived until the day they died. The diner was our family business. We were a motley crew, I'll admit it. Bobby the dishwasher had cognitive disabilities. Janie the waitress was an alcoholic. Orlando the sous chef only spoke Spanish, as did my grandfather. My grandmother hobbled around a bit because of her arthritis. And it's truly a wonder that we operated so smoothly. But each of us had unique strengths that made up for the other's weaknesses. Each of us played off of each other's strengths, and we were able to offer top-notch, friendly, and efficient service. We were stronger together where we would have certainly failed alone. And we were a well-oiled machine. The people who came into the diner were also quite a bit of a motley crew. Oil Well Pete had filthy clothes after a night on the rig. Ketchup Freddy from the gas station put ketchup on absolutely everything, including in his soup. There were police officers who come in off their shift and looked like they had the weight of the world on their shoulders. There were politicians and professors who loved to debate one another, sometimes with friendly shouting matches. Yet we as a family somehow built relationships with all of them, despite our differences. All walks of life, different cultures. We knew their chosen drink, how to make them laugh, the names of their kids, their religion, what we had in common, and what we didn't have in common. There was a space for everyone. My grandmother told us that you have less than 3 seconds before someone walks in that door to the diner, comes across and sits down at your counter stool. You got less than 3 seconds to size them up. Who are they? What kind of mood are they in? What are they looking for? What do they need? And your job is to make that person and anyone who walks in the door and sits at your counter stool feel like a VIP. Make them feel seen and heard, connect with them, ease their burden in some way. I tell this story, it's a little bit of a long story, because it's really the core of who I am and the core of many of our honorees this evening. It's what my grandfather intuitively knew when he came to this country. Stronger together. That's what makes us a great country. Take a motley group of people who may not have anything in common, give them an opportunity to come together and combine their strengths in an enterprise, neighborhood, whatever, and they will make up for their weaknesses and become a well-oiled machine despite any setbacks or history. Also, whoever ends up at my or your counter stool is a VIP, worthy of love and attention seen, and heard. That's the formula that I and our honorees this evening bring to public service. Right now, we are lucky to be in a time of really unprecedented cooperation amongst federal, state, and local law enforcement. It has been a pleasure for me working this last year and a half with all of our partners, many of whom are here in the room tonight. That wasn't always the case, and it didn't happen overnight that we became so cooperative and learned how to work together. Even our federal agencies with similar missions didn't always see eye to eye. We have different cultures amongst us. We're very different viewpoints. We even achieve our mission oftentimes with different tools in different ways. And these can be major challenges. There can be turf battles and much conflict even amongst our similar law enforcement groups. But much like the diverse people sitting down at my diner counter stool, my approach has been to take an interest and cultivate relationships with every federal law enforcement partner. And relationships take work, folks. It's not like you just show up for holidays. Special agents in charge and our inspector generals will tell you that I call regularly just to check in, check the temperature. I have monthly meetings of all my close sister agencies, FBI, ATF, DEA, Homeland Security, SEC, and a few others, and we talk through the issues. We share information. We head off conflicts before they happen, and we collaborate. I host quarterly meetings with larger groups of law enforcement, many of whom are here now, our state, local partners, chiefs of police, state police, DAs, offices of Inspector General. Every one of my motley crew partners is at the table. We share issues. We talk about solutions, create plans and networks. That is law enforcement at its best. Stronger together. Those plans sometimes result in useful coalitions among several offices. I'll give you an example. My office partnered with FBI and ATF to stand up a highly successful carjacking task force. Everyone reads the news. Everyone knows how horrified people are to just go out and get in a car to go to work sometimes. We've had tremendous impact. Word on the street now is you commit a carjacking, the feds are coming for you. By working on our relationships and coming together in this manner, we have overcome any potential individual weaknesses in our agencies or offices, realized our shared missions and shared strengths, and recognized that we are stronger together. The same lessons apply to my vision for community engagement and the team that I have here tonight. Just think about it for a minute. I'm the top federal law enforcement official in an area that includes over 5.5 million people in 9 counties from every religious and ethnic group you can imagine. And it includes rural farmlands, the Delaware watershed, Appalachian mountain ridges, as well as many busy urban landscapes like Philadelphia. You talk about a motley crew of a district. But as a community organizer recently reminded me and my team, you need to fall in love with the people you serve. Much like the diverse crew that worked in my family diner and that frequented the diner, the citizens of this district make us stronger when we work together with them. We cannot do this job effectively without them. That's just the truth. And that is why we've spent so much time working on these relationships. In my first 6 months as U.S. Attorney, my team and I toured the entire district in search of what we called love and light. I know it sounds corny, that's fine. Love and light. Because Martin Luther King once said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Our mission was to find all the amazing community groups spreading love and light in our district and get to know them and simply listen to them, quite honestly. As my grandmother would say, who are they? What kind of mood are they in? What are they looking for? What do they need? We may have had more than 3 seconds to figure out, but the principles still apply. And we pondered those questions, showed up at meetings, many, many, many meetings in an authentic way, just showed up and listened, and sometimes got yelled at. And an amazing thing happened. People of this district started to feel like VIPs. Seen, heard, connected with law enforcement. And the burden was eased just a little bit. And the next thing you know, after 6 months of doing that and doing the real work, building relationships, showing up consistently, our phone started to ring off the hook. Invitations to participate in community events, educate the community, meet with students, come on over here, meet with some elected officials, let's talk about gun violence. We were getting called to be everywhere all at once. And in short, we fell in love with the community, and they fell in love right back. Let me give you a flavor of just the last 60 days. We met with community partners to discuss safe housing issues. We educated students at the Constitution Center on constitutional issues and careers in law. We attended a conference hosted by the district court to discuss ways to better diversify jury pools. We assisted U.S. attorneys' offices in other districts who want to stand up reentry courts like our model that is a national model now. Along with DA John Adams, we spoke to students in the Reading School District about careers in law enforcement. We participated in various student and law enforcement engagement events. We attended a local block build, helping to restore 15 houses in West Philadelphia. We participated in a community dialogue about teaching ethnic histories and civic contributions in the classroom, hoping that early education will help stamp out hate, violence, and misinformation directed at certain ethnic groups. We participated in a gun violence roundtable with local elected officials. We hosted a transatlantic engagement conference for community members and legal professionals from Germany and Jacksonville, Mississippi to discuss civil rights issues. We attended a youth power summit at a local high school. We participated in a police athletic league Halloween event. I'm only halfway through. We trained local partners on the issue of sexual harassment in housing. We met with judges and prosecutors from Ukraine to educate them about the complexities of bringing war crimes cases. We met with our partners at U.S. Customs and Border Protection to discuss security issues at the port. We met with a group of senior citizens to educate them about certain crimes and things that they need to be wary of. We hosted a screening of a documentary film about the Tree of Life Synagogue massacre and hosted a panel discussion with victims and the Pittsburgh federal prosecutors involved in that case. We launched a United Against Hate initiative engaging faith-based leaders throughout the district. We hosted reentry simulations to highlight issues faced by citizens returning to our community from prison. We educated community partners about human trafficking issues. We participated in a student diversity leadership conference. We assisted with the community group's annual Thanksgiving dinner. We participated in workforce development program at Goodwill. That's just 60 days, folks. Can I get a round of applause for my community engagement team? Now, look, my job is law enforcement and public safety, right? I'm here to prosecute criminals, and that's what folks will say. But we all know that I cannot prosecute my way out of the crime problems in Philadelphia and the 8 counties in our district. I go through this long list and read it to you of what we've been up to with community engagement, because it demonstrates that the community is hungry. They are hungry for us as public servants and law enforcement to show up and see them, to understand them, to connect with them, and to treat them as VIPs, plain and simple. They want to be part of the dialogue, and they want to be part of the solution. And where our law enforcement agencies may have gaps or weaknesses, the community has strengths to make up for it. The challenge for all of us is to consistently build those relationships. It's a lot of work. But much like how we built relationships and coalitions and information sharing networks amongst our motley crew of local, state, and federal law enforcement partners, so that we now have the unprecedented cooperation, coordination, and well-oiled machine, we have to build similar relationships with our diverse communities. We have to fall in love with the communities we serve, educate and empower them, make them part of the solution, pool our resources, and realize the vision of my grandfather and the promise of this country. We are all stronger when we come together. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and congratulations to tonight's honorees.
So the venue is moving to New Jersey. There's a diner, I'm told, we're supposed to, is serving dinner. So you can't leave. Can't leave. So wait a minute. We've got Saeed is here. And so for all of the reasons you just heard, for all of the great work that the U.S. Attorney's Office is doing under the leadership of Jacqueline Romero, we want to thank you, first of all, for your service. And we want to, here, well, I'll do that a second. Here. Working? Ooh, it's working. So.
You want me to hold
You're
it, or you're gonna read it?
So this says, Public Heroes Appreciation Award, Peace Islands Institute, Pennsylvania, presented to Jacqueline Romero, U.S. Attorney, Eastern District of Pennsylvania, in recognition of your outstanding service.
You done it?
And there's more. This is in Greek, but I'm going to translate. And I'm actually not going to read much of it. But Senator Christine Tartaglione has provided our recipients with these beautiful commemorations and thanks, really, from the Senate of Pennsylvania in Senate of Pennsylvania. And it says, congratulations in the Senate, November 29th, 2023. Whereas the Senate of Pennsylvania takes great pleasure in recognizing those citizens who through dedication and excellence contribute in a meaningful way to the well-being of their communities and ultimately to all people of this great Commonwealth. And whereas Jacqueline C. Romero, Esquire, is being honored by Peace Islands Institute, Pennsylvania, during its annual Public Heroes Appreciation Award, which will be held on December 6th, 2023. And if you want, after dinner, I can read the rest of it. So here it is. And why don't we see if we can get one picture.
How's Ella?
So thank you, and thank you. And I think you said that too. So the good news, now that I'm using mic 2, is dinner is served. We're going to move things up because I don't know about you, but you're going to have to race me to the dinner line. No, so I don't know how you want to do this. Can we just have a free-for-all? Is it stronger together? We all charge? I don't know. Maybe we should just start at the first table right there and go to second to, can we do that? Okay, I think they like that idea. On behalf of those people at this side, we have a lot of things we can go over and discuss, catching up. So meet other people at other tables. Why not? Anyway, this is the time for you to get together, enjoy, speak, and hopefully you'll even get to eat at some point. Thank you. We need to give him a huge round of applause. Since last year, he has not slept working on this event. And every time I see him, he is just so meticulous. So this would not have happened without his extraordinary work. He's such a terrific, terrific person. So I also want to recognize, believe it or not, in this country, it requires sometimes a few dollars to do these things. I did not bake the chicken, surprisingly, but we had 3 sponsors. We had Wawa. I want to recognize them. I want to recognize the Yogo Factory. Anyway, and BHS Mortgages and Irene Lulu, who is here. And Ghazi is very fortunate that he is sitting next to this great woman. So we're going to continue with the awards, and we're going to go to number 2, not because it's just in order. That is not second importance or anything like that. But it is really I'm really very excited because this next award goes to Tanya Jeter. And I want you to know, I will tell you that I have known and actually kind of worked with Tanya for 26 years. Not that that's meaningful at all. I just want to say I've known her for a very long time. She's extraordinary, but I'm not going to say anything else because Frankie Darcell is coming up, and she, oh my God, I read all about Frankie, and she is an amazing woman. We can probably all tune on the radio and listen to her greatest hits. But anyway, why don't you come up, Frankie?
First of all, let me start by saying my dad was a career Marine. A man in uniform is always noticeable. So might I say I haven't gotten a lot of eye candy in uniform today. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So I believe that service, as it's been said, is the price you pay for the space that you occupy. And those in community service, those in service to others, should be applauded. To give unconditionally, without not a lot of reward, sometimes criticism and skepticism, but you give in spite of. Tanya L. Jeter, for 33 years, has given quite a bit. In this space that she's occupied. And you can only imagine 33 years ago, there were no emails. You had to actually type a letter. You had to maybe fax it, and now fax machines are gone. But she did that. When she started, a hashtag was really a tic-tac-toe. She did the hard work. She did it unselfishly. She did it with grace and continues to do it with grace. Often, and let me say to just the incredible people and her new supervisor and former supervisors, that often managers and supervisors stand on the shoulders of incredible people that make them look good. And often, those leaders kind of sometimes forget about the little people. But I applaud the leadership at the FBI and in the office where Tanya works to allow her to receive the shine that she deserves. I admire you. I celebrate you. Those around you celebrate you. To your girlfriends who are here, to your mom and dad who came in from Texas, to your brother and your sister who are here, to your friends who are here, and even colleagues who retired that came out for a night, got out for the couch to come and celebrate you. That means a lot. Tonight is not about me. When you called me and said, Frankie, would you do this? Absolutely, I am honored, not only to see you recognized this evening as a professional, but as my friend, my dear. Please help me give a warm round of applause to an amazing, we should have some new music. If I could sing, I would sing for you. Please welcome Tanya L. Jeter, Community Service Award. We honor you tonight. You gotta give us a little show now.
As my daughters would say, I'm a bag of water, and I am. I'm so thankful to be here. I'm not gonna cry, so I'm not even gonna look at my family and my girls from high school and my co-workers and, junior high school, junior high. I'm not gonna look. Frankie, thank you for that awesome introduction. Thank you so much. Get it together. Okay. Before I start, I definitely want to thank, and first of all, welcome to Philadelphia, and publicly introduce my boss of the FBI Philadelphia Division, Special Agent in Charge, Wayne Jacobs. Interesting. Who, in a short time, has established himself as a supportive leader and a staunch advocate for community engagement. And I'm so looking forward to working with you. Thank you for coming in. Warm and humble greetings to you all. Let me get out of denial and put my glass. Now I can see, okay. Saeed, wherever you are. Thank you and the Peace Islands Institute team so very much for this moment. To our guests, fellow honorees, colleagues, friends, and family. Don't look, she's gonna make you cry. I stand here humbly honored to even have been a nominee for the Public Heroes Award. Don't look over here, you're gonna cry. I stand here in amazement. Wow, as a recipient. What a privilege to receive recognition for a job I love. Oftentimes, I just can't believe that I'm getting paid to do what I do. My love language is service, giving back, connecting the dots, creating smiles. My role as a community outreach specialist for the FBI allows me to do just that. On a regular basis, I get to interact with the public to increase their awareness of different issues, learn about their community concerns, and work together to identify solutions to those concerns. When I was younger, I often dreamt of becoming a teacher, working with people, sharing information, teaching others. In a way, my dream job as a teacher has come to life. As a community outreach specialist, I get the opportunity to introduce people of all ages and all backgrounds to the FBI. Over 20 years ago, my former coworker and I implemented FBI Philadelphia's Teen Academy, a program where high school students spend a few days with us learning about the FBI. Through partnerships and working together, I get to coordinate other special sessions for our youth on bullying, internet safety, being a good cyber citizen. I also get to visit with many scout troops, and whenever possible, we love to participate in school career days at all levels. My current passion is in educating our senior citizens and helping them to identify red flags associated with financial elder abuse scams. The majority of my senior scam presentations lately have been done in collaboration with the Camden County Prosecutor's Office's outreach team, again, working together. My ask of all of you, if you know of any senior living facilities, senior day centers, let's talk, because I'd love to visit with them and share my presentation and hopefully help folks avoid being scammed. In closing, I'm almost done. I do not want to leave, without thanking all of my partners, which is probably half of this room, colleagues, and of course my FBI family, who continue to support me in doing a job that I love. I cannot do it without all of you. And with that, if you are here and I have not had the opportunity to meet you, please reach out. I have plenty of business cards. I'm always interested in making new connections. Again, I want to thank Peace Islands Institute, thank you, Saeed, and your team. This recognition, wow, is such an honor. One of my missions in life is to be a good person and a proud servant. Standing here today, I hope, means that I am on the right path. Thank you. Thank you.
You've been called up. You've been summoned. It's okay. No. I am extraneous. So.
He always got to take over.
On behalf of Peace Islands Institute, I want to, and you're now holding the award, Saeed. It's the Public Heroes Appreciation Award for 2023. It's presented to you, Tanya Jeter, for your phenomenal work. I mean, it doesn't say phenomenal because that's me speaking, but your outstanding service and your unbelievable. I mean, this is the face of community. There you go. So thank you. Thank you. And, of course, from the Senate of Pennsylvania, I'm going to allow Tanya and her family to read this and take great pride in doing this, because it really is a beautiful commemoration from the Pennsylvania State Senate. And it says that whereas Tanya Jeter is being honored by Peace Islands Institute during its annual Public Heroes Appreciation event held today, the Senate of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Tanya L. Jeter upon her richly deserved recognition, affirmatively states that she is a shining example of community spirit whose many contributions are worthy of deep gratitude and respect. There you go. I give that to you. Here's some class. Excuse me. Okay. So, it gives me, it's a privilege to introduce Abby Stavelman-Hockey, who will be introducing Marwan Kreidie, and who I've known for 13 years. I like to always state the years I know people, but Abby was a recipient. If you looked at the video, and there's going to be a pop quiz, take-home exam, but Abby was in the film at the very beginning, and she received an award last year. And so it is great to have her back, now introducing Marwan.
Good evening. It is so heartwarming to be in this room together tonight. Thank you, Saeed. Thank you to Peace Islands. This work is indeed heroic. It's an honor to have this moment to commend to you the work of Marwan Kreidie. I've known Marwan since sometime in the 1990s, before he founded the Arab American Community Development Corporation of Philadelphia. My colleagues and I at the Jewish Community Relations Council worked hand in hand with Marwan on intergroup relations. Needless to say, this was a critical partnership. What impressed me about Marwan was, and still is, well beyond the expertise he brings as a college professor and expert in American government, international relations, nationalism, and the history and politics of the Middle East. He seems to have endless energy and time for community building, civil service, and intergroup relations projects. Marwan is a warm, passionate, and engaged activist of rare form. He lives his commitment to fairness, equity, and justice through compassion, integrity, cooperation, and friendship. Let me pause a moment to accentuate the word friendship. When you work with Marwan, you are sure to be invited to join him for a film that will challenge your views, and then out for coffee or a meal to discuss it. Open and honest conversations about post-9/11 tensions or the latest iteration of the Middle East crisis go much better when you're sharing falafel or amazing Lebanese baked goods at Monakish, West Philadelphia. Marwan's genuine love of culture and people is accompanied by his love of ideas and a curiosity for multiple perspectives, rare traits these days. While Marwan is an effective public servant, many may not know of how many conflicts have been averted or how much change has been effected because Marwan was willing to dive deep and work behind the scenes to build mutual understanding. Another rare and effective trait. Many of you could recount ways that Marwan has made an enduring impact on your community or on a particular public policy issue. I would like to mention two. In 2003, a group of people of diverse faith and cultural backgrounds decided that rebuilding trust and understanding after 9/11 could not be left to chance. Marwan was among the dozen or so founding members of what is today Interfaith Philadelphia. Thank you. Then, in 2015, when a hateful extremist group submitted an anti-Islamic ad to be placed on SEPTA buses, Marwan called me with an idea of how to get funding and mount a coalitional response campaign. Ultimately, the message "Replace hate with understanding, dare to understand" appeared on billboards throughout the city and on the back page of the Metro paper and was featured on all TV and radio outlets. We were the only city in the country to mount a positive messaging campaign, and the results were astounding. I would like to close with a Jewish teaching. The rabbis of the 7th century asked, "Who is a hero?" And their answer was, "One who turns an enemy into a friend." Marwan, thanks for living the vision of Peace Islands, Philadelphia, for truly being a public hero. You have demonstrated time and again that it is better to invest in relationships and assume if we start as friends, we can avert becoming enemies.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you, Peace Islands. I really appreciate this. This is a great honor for me. When I look over here, and Abby, thanks for your kind words. When I look over here, I see friends, and I've seen a lot of people I've worked with on difficult times. Real friendship and real activism happens not in the good times, it happens in the bad times. And as you know, right now, the Arabic community is really hurting. It's really hurting in Philadelphia, especially in Philadelphia because of what's happening. I'd like to take a moment of silence for the innocent civilians that have been killed throughout that region since October 7th. If we could take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. We got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of hate out there. And I'm really grateful that we have the opportunity to work with all of you. I'd like to just talk a little bit about my experience with the Arab American community and doing something which I think was really difficult, is to get the Arab American community to trust law enforcement. Remember, most of us come from countries where, Shukri, right? You go to the police, you don't return. The police over there are the oppressors. So with the community coming from Syria, from Palestine, West Bank, Gaza, Egypt, you don't go to the police. The police are your oppressors. So it was really, really difficult for us to gain trust with the police. And we started it before 9/11. We started it, actually, I don't know if people know, there was the Oklahoma City bombing, right? And everybody blamed it on us, right? We get blamed. Every time, I mean, I was the happiest guy in the world when they picked those two white guys and pointed them out. I was like, thank God. But there was a lot of incidents happening. And so we decided, we worked together, and I got a really a good champion of our community, Shukri Khorshid, who I work very closely together. We went there, and we started sitting down with the FBI. We sat down with Philadelphia police, and we started developing relationships. And all of this happened slowly but surely. So when 9/11 happened, we were not a city that had the backlash. A lot of cities had backlash against the Arab American community and the Muslim community. They burned a mosque in Detroit, in Chicago. They burned diners. They didn't, well, somebody came to your store with a gun, but that was okay. Nothing happened, right? Remember that? But for the most part, we escaped that. And we escaped that because I had the ability at the time, because of the relationships that we built, we had a police car in front of every mosque and Arabic church in the area, almost just about before the second plane hit, because we knew something was going to happen. So it worked. It really worked in Philadelphia. But, coming together, really good theme. Let me just, I could talk a lot about the Arab American community, how we came here in 1876 to the, what's now Memorial Hall for the Centennial exhibit, went throughout the country. But I really want to talk about coming together. And the incident that really showed me that we were now accepted in the Philadelphia community as a distinct group was the mosque, this pig head incident at the mosque. I don't know if people remember. I think one of the first people I called was Robert Reed, called the FBI, called the Philadelphia Police. But on December 8th, 2015, right after our former president, before he was, I think it was right before, he said something about the Muslim ban. And someone threw a pig's head at the mosque. So what happened? It was, a pig's head is a pig's head. It's not kryptonite. It's not, people aren't gonna, but it's a real sign of disrespect and humiliation. What happened was the neighbors came to us and said, what's going on? They heard about it and they said, we want to come and support you. We want to have a demonstration. I'm like, let's not, they were to come with signs and have a demonstration. So let's not have a demonstration. Why don't we do this? Well, it was one of those climate change weekends in December, which was really warm, beautiful December. I said, let's have a party to show our community that we have community. And that day was so special to me because we had not only half the FBI and the police, I don't know how many rabbis were there, priests, they all came, and the neighborhood all came, and we feasted together. That's one thing you know about me. Anytime you get an invitation to do something with me, there'll be food involved. But we feasted there. We brought food, and we shared commonality. And we shared that we were all part of Philadelphia, and that the Arabic American and the Muslim American community is just as Philadelphian as anybody here. Had you come over on the Mayflower or whatever, we were just as Americans. And I think it was very important. It was important for me, but I think it was important for the community because it really showed us that we were part of the community. So thanks again. I don't deserve this award. Our community deserves this award. Thanks again, Robert. By the way, I should tell a funny story. The first time I met Robert, I yelled at him for how long? I still yell at him. Because we had just gone through the U.S. attorney at the time, before when Robert came and talked to us. It was, I forget, who was the U.S. attorney at the time? The new one? Whatever. But we don't want to get to, we have a great one now, but wouldn't talk to our community, wouldn't even let us in the door. And so I was really upset about the U.S. attorney's office, so I yelled at Robert for about 10 minutes. But we're good friends. We traveled to Europe together with William, Office Lieutenant Lawrence Slaton, and Randy, where we are. But thank you very much. It's a real pleasure. I'm honored. Thank you.
So, this is Monica, Marwan's wife, and I would like, again, on behalf, here you go, you hold it. Why don't maybe the two of you should hold it? Here you, yeah, I know, but, you know, he would be nothing without you. I'm sorry, yeah, right. So anyway, so on behalf of the Peace Islands Institute, this is Public Heroes Appreciation Award. It's presented to Marwan, who, saying he's passionate is a total understatement. It should be for extraordinary passion in trying to help people, but says for his outstanding service. But congratulations. Thank you very much. And I know that tonight we're going to send copies by email to everyone so you can read them. And we've now translated them into 117 languages, and you can read them in all of them. I'm not going to read it, but it is again a beautiful letter and testament to Marwan from the State Senate, Pennsylvania. So we come to our next awardee, awardee. Who uses the word awardee? Nobody. Oh, this is something I was supposed to tell you about before. So just hold your breath, everybody. So I'm a big QR code kind of guy. See this? It's on your table, QR code. And I want everyone to get your cell phones out. Isn't that what you're supposed to do, right? Cell phones out, and you do whatever you do to get the QR code. And what that's going to allow you to do is to give feedback, get a new MC, menu, and a donation to the MC for psychiatric care. Oh, okay. So in any event, now. So anyway, I was supposed to tell you that, so there you go. Okay, so our next person who's going to receive a Peace Islands Award is Dominick Mireles, and speaking on his behalf is Chief Derek Bowden. Chief Derek Bomer. You got to get it right next time.
Good evening. I'm glad I don't have to follow Frankie. Thank you. I'm glad about that. Good evening, everyone. I am Chief Derek Bomer. I'm the executive chief for Commissioner Adam Till, his right and left hand. So today I get the distinct honor of introducing Dominick, a good friend of mine, that we spent a lot of time together over the last 4 or 5 years with many of our things that happened in Philadelphia. I think our last awardee jinxed us. You know what I mean? I hope so. We don't talk about any disasters going on. So Philadelphia's been in a good place. So today I'm filling in for Commissioner Till. I hope I do a good job. I finally get a chance to talk and not in front of the camera where there's a disaster. I think they call me the Grim Reaper. So. But today it's a good time. So I want to just spend a few moments to talk about Dominick and talk about the things that he has done over the few years that I've known him. He's a true servant in our community, and I'm glad he's been selected for this prestigious Public Hero Award. As we gather here today, it is important to reflect on the profound impact that Dominick has had in our community, whether it's disasters, COVID, whatever. We spent 75 straight days in the basement of our building, you know, just trying to protect the citizens of Philadelphia. And through his unwavering dedication and selflessness, Dominick has proven to be a beacon of hope and inspiration for all those in need. His remarkable achievements in the face of adversity have cemented his place as a true champion of justice. Dominick has displayed exceptional leadership as he has fearlessly led his team through countless missions and critical situations. His unparalleled expertise, strategic thinking, and commitment to excellence has demonstrated his ability to navigate complex and dangerous circumstances with grace and precision. Beyond his outstanding professional accomplishment, Dominick has also shown remarkable compassion and empathy for those that he serves. He has gone above and beyond the call of duty, extending a helping hand to individuals facing challenges, circumstances, providing support, and ensuring the safety and well-being for our citizens of Philadelphia. His dedication to his role as a public servant is not going unnoticed, as his tireless efforts have positively impacted the lives of countless individuals. His commitment to upholding the principles of justice, emergency management, and maintaining the highest ethical standards is truly commendable. Today, as we celebrate Director Mireles, I'll use your title this time, as a recipient of the Public Heroes Award, let us remember and reflect upon the immeasurable contributions that he has made towards creating a safer and more just society. His unwavering commitment to protecting and serving the public serves as an inspiration to all of us. I also like to congratulate all the awardees. Well done. Please join me, I'm quick and to the point. Please join me in giving a resounding applause and expressing our utmost gratitude to Dominick. His exceptional courage, and selflessness and dedication has made an incredible mark in our community, and he is truly deserving of this prestigious recognition. So please welcome Dominick Mireles.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the very kind words. It's an honor to be with all of you this evening and to receive this recognition. I extend my sincere appreciation to the entire Peace Islands Institute, the sponsors, and of course to Saeed, who I had the pleasure of spending time with and learning more about Peace Islands from. I want to highlight that, like many of the honorees, I'm here as a result of the incredibly committed team members in the city's Office of Emergency Management, as well as colleagues across the city who constantly challenge me to create more ideal circumstances and outcomes for the people we serve and in our own workplace. Hero is a strong word, but I appreciate the sentiment. I'm certain that many of you don't know what exactly emergency management is. I can tell you that we are not typically a direct service organization. Instead, we see our role to take complex situations, things like floods, transportation incidents, and international special events, and to make them manageable through collaboration and capacity building. Often this gives us the opportunity to be an advocate for different communities and their needs. It is very clear to me the influence I have as a leader of a government function. I make choices about where we spend our time as an organization. I help to determine who we provide access for or a platform to. Whether it is welcoming migrants from the southern border or welcoming evacuated Afghans at the international airport, I help to set the tone on how we approach these operations. In everything that we do at the Office of Emergency Management, we bring safety, security, and importantly, dignity to the toughest circumstances. While I'm far from some of the true heroes in this room, I am a champion. I affect my change through small, everyday decisions, through how we design and implement our services for people in need, and to how we frame and talk about the challenges laid in front of us when people need our help. Take away my title or the uniform shirt that I wear, and we all have the same basic needs, fears, and hopes. And so I hope that my example is one of where we can make small decisions every day to create those small peace islands to affect larger peace initiatives. I truly appreciate the recognition, and it has reinforced that these efforts and this advocacy matter. It reinforces that beyond buzzwords and promises, the quiet commitment matters in how we conduct our daily business. And for me, I hope to inspire others that to be a change agent, it certainly can be small. If becoming a champion or even an ally is not for you, then be a change agent by approaching everything with an open mind and from a place of respect and dignity. Again, thank you for this recognition.
So, on behalf of the Peace Islands Institute, this is presented to you, Dominick Mireles, and for your outstanding service, this is going in and out, and obviously your passion for the work. And I thank you so much for everything you've done. I think at this point, since we've already sent you copies in 117 languages, you know you've been recognized by the Pennsylvania State Senate, and this is the recognition. Okay, thank you very much. So the next person to receive an award is Lieutenant William Slaton. So let me introduce the person who's going to introduce him. Excuse me. Hi, everybody. I want you to know, did you ever see the movie Twins? Well, if you don't know who Lieutenant Slaton is, you're going to see why we call each other twins. I have had, first of all, who is he? Well, it doesn't say it there yet, but so Lieutenant Slaton, Will, is a 16-year veteran of the Pennsylvania State Police, and let me just get to the bottom line, he's just a great guy. I mean, he's just a great human being and a great guy. And he is also an amazing story because he was born in Camden, and while Camden is a great city, there are some parts of Camden that are very tough. And he was born in some of those areas. And while he and his family did the best they could, it was a tough place to grow up. And some of the things that you saw are things that maybe nobody should see. And so going from that upbringing, he persevered through school, going into college, and then went to the Pennsylvania State Police, becoming a trooper, a corporal, a sergeant, and now a lieutenant. And I will tell you that I have known Lieutenant Slaton for many years. A total class act. I mean, if you wanted to have a guy on the cover of GQ, you wouldn't ask me, but you would ask him, my twin. And, you know, this is just coming off the top of my head. I don't know where this is. But, you know, he was the lieutenant in the Heritage Affairs section, and there are members of the Heritage Affairs section here, and it's such important work. It's essentially the civil rights unit of the Pennsylvania State Police. And, you know, given everything we're seeing going on in our culture, our society, and our world, not just because of present day issues, literally present day issues, but going back years, this work is so critical to reach out to the community. And at one point, Lieutenant Slaton, I think, was a sergeant, and he was the first person in this unit. Did I get that wrong? Okay, I got that right. And now there's 5 people in that unit, different sections of the state, doing extraordinarily important work, reaching out to the community and helping to give people faith that the government cares, that we can stop hate in its tracks. And it's hard work. It is really hard work for some of the reasons that you heard. Some people don't want to deal with the police or state police or the FBI. But the bottom line is it depends on the people who are out there in the streets. And Lieutenant Slaton and the people working in that unit do a fabulous job reaching out. And they do a lot of training so that other officers and other people around the state understand the importance of civil rights and the importance of not being hateful and what that can do to people. So there's a lot of stories I really could tell you about Lieutenant Slaton, but this may not be the forum for it. But when we go to the diner, it's called Jackie's Diner now. When we go to that diner, we're gonna tell all those stories. So if you would, please welcome and thank Lieutenant William Slaton for all the work he's done and the great work that he's done.
Okay, back there? Good evening. Rob didn't tell you I almost killed him in Germany. We'll save that for another day. So honored to be here today. And being here today reveals one of my phobias. My phobia is when someone says to me, vacation, beach, whatever, where are you from? What do I tell them? Do I tell them that I grew up in the most dangerous city in America? Camden, New Jersey? Do I tell them I grew up in the murder capital of America, Camden, New Jersey, multiple years in a row? A city whose police department was disbanded for racially profiling its minority residents and investigated by the FBI? Because I've told people that before. I've put Camden on resumes, my address, never got a call back. I've went to interviews. I was smart enough to use a family member's address. Went to interviews. They find out I'm from Camden because I want my check to come to my house. And then I don't get a call back. Then when I finally do get the job, I've had coworkers say, after days of knowing each other, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Camden. Camden? You don't look like one of them. You don't look like one of them. So I found ways to circumvent that question. When people ask me, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm from New Jersey. Oh, yeah, what part? Oh, South Jersey. Oh, yeah, what part? Right outside of Cherry Hill. I don't tell them. And then I try to quickly change the subject. So, and it's a serious phobia that I've had. So fast forward, I leave Camden, 15 years into the Pennsylvania State Police. My wife and I are married. We're in the suburbs of Pennsylvania. I'm laying on the couch one day, scrolling through the TV. My wife comes home from work. She says, hey, honey, how was your day? I was like, oh, it was good. How was yours? She said, it was great. I was bragging about you at work today. So I'm like, oh, okay. Tell me more. I'm excited. My wife works for a Fortune 500 company, and they had some executive function. Everyone there is highly intelligent, multiple degrees, including my wife. So I'm curious. Okay, what did you tell them about me? How great of a husband I am? She says, I told them you were from Camden. It's laughable now, but legitimately, I was upset. I stood up from the couch. I said, why did you do that? I said, I don't know these people. I said, I've never met them. They're going to judge me. Why did you tell them that I was from Camden? She said, because I'm proud. She said, I'm proud of the fact that you dropped out of high school in the 9th grade, took a test, started college, and skipped grades 10, 11, 12. And the reason why I did that is because the Camden City School District promoted my brother from one grade to the next in high school with F's straight up and down his report card because they didn't care. She said, I'm proud of the fact that you grew up in a single-parent household in such an environment. Neither you or your brother ever been to jail, ever did drugs, ever sold drugs, never joined a gang. My background investigator for the state police said it was a miracle that I came out. She said, I'm proud of the fact that you became a Pennsylvania State Police trooper, rose through the ranks, became a hostage negotiator, met presidents, vice presidents, governors, senators. She says, so you're darn right. When people ask me, where you're from, I'm going to tell them you're from Camden. So I looked her right in the eye, and I said, so what do you want to do for dinner? Seriously, I'm not going to argue with that. So I say all that to say, it's amazing where life experiences can bring you. If it wasn't for the fact that I was from Camden, I wouldn't be so successful as the Heritage Affairs Section Commander, having meetings with people and organizations that normally slam the door when a police officer comes knocking. I've showed up at places, says no cops allowed unless you have a warrant. They invite me in, we're in there talking for 2 hours. At the end of the meeting, we're hugging and they're crying. Because of my life experiences at Camden, I've been able to prepare training content for law enforcement officers and the community that have reached over 10,000 people in the Commonwealth. And all the training we provide has all been word of mouth. And because of my experiences in Camden, I've met the partners that I have here today, ADL, U.S. Attorney's Office, FBI, Jewish Federation, Rob Reed, everyone. Sorry if I missed it. It's a lot of friends in the room. So because of those life experiences, that gave me the opportunities that I have today. So in closing, I'm very humble and honored to receive this award. My son thinks he could drop out of high school in the 9th grade now. I'm like, nah, buddy, you got a long way to go. But I'm very happy to receive this award. Thanks to Peace Islands, thanks to Rob Reed. Sorry I almost killed you in Germany. It's a long story. If we have time, I'll tell, but we'll save it. Thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So I would like to take a photo with me with the award. The 3 Heritage Affairs Liaison Officers, 2 of which drove up from Scranton, come on up. 1 drove up from Harrisburg. I would like my new captain, where's he at? Captain McShay, come on up, please, on the stage. The oldest living Pennsylvania State Trooper, Major Ben Brooks. I would like him to come up. And then the Pennsylvania State Trooper who's just getting started with 2 years on the job. I would like you to come up, Killen. I didn't realize this many people were coming. Surprised me.
So incredibly, the award says to Rob's twin, but it doesn't actually say that. This is a Peace Islands Institute. Did you notice that move? Peace Islands Institute Public Heroes Appreciation Award to Lieutenant William Slaton, and it speaks about your astounding service. It should also say for just being the outstanding human being you are. And in addition, we're back. And again, please, this is being recorded, so for all of those people who are outlaw me, we really appreciate this. It's just that it's long. I'm just speaking to the cameras now. So this is for you. This is a commemoration to the great work that you're doing from the Senate. Thank you for telling me. I was thinking the House or something. The Senate, the State Senate of Pennsylvania, and again, another great award and so well deserved. So we are at our final award recipient, and you know, they've all knocked them out of the park. Stephanie's son is our 6th recipient tonight, and she will be introduced by a friend and a former awardee last year, Randy Duque. And he is the deputy of the Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations.
Good evening, everyone. I have the pleasure to introduce our final awardee tonight. Again, my name is Randy Duque. I'm with the Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations, and I was fortunate to receive the award last year for the Public Heroes Award. But hearing tonight's awardees, I'm kind of jealous I wasn't on this bill because there's some great people tonight. From what as you know, tonight's theme is Stronger Together, And I think that Stephanie Sun's, her nomination fits perfectly with everyone else tonight in that I've known her, probably one of those people that she's known in Philadelphia area. I think I've known her for about 8 years. And when I first met her, she was working at the Welcoming Center. If you're not familiar with the Welcoming Center, for New Pennsylvanians, you should learn about them. They're a great organization. You see, the board chair and director are here tonight, so you can learn more about that program as well. But anyway, the center works with immigrants new to the state and to the country. Stephanie was a program director there, and I remember when we met, working with various communities. She invited me to work with one of the programs in terms of teaching immigrant youth and children of immigrants about business savviness and public safety and such. Fast forward a little bit, she moved on from there, for personal reasons, to help support her mom, who's also here tonight. Love her mom too. But she had the opportunity to interview with my agency when we had an opening to have more people work in community relations. Unfortunately, she wasn't able, she didn't get that position. However, what I think that did was open the doors up for her completely, because within, I'd say 5 or 6 years, she went from interviewing from that job to getting a job with the city, doing census work, really working with the various communities in Philadelphia to engage them and to train them up to first understand the importance of the census, so that we had a very, very complete picture of the population in our city, to moving on to working with them in various capacities and voters and through COVID. She also worked through, started working for the Pennsylvania government as the director of the Pennsylvania's Asian American Advisory Commission, Governor's Advisory Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs. Sorry, it's long name. Where I was fortunate to serve under her as one of her commissioners. She did an outstanding job in unifying the various Asian communities in Pennsylvania. Since then, after Governor Wolf left office, she's moved on in the state. In the meantime, she kept herself busy too. If you look in the program of all the other work she's done, she's a board member of various organizations. And one of the coolest things I think that she did, especially during the time of anti-Asian hate, was to really coalesce unity and partnership to work against hate by co-founding the Pennsylvania Asian Pacific American Jewish Alliance. So I can talk all night about all the accomplishments she's done in the short amount of time that I've seen her grow exponentially. But without further ado, I want to bring up Stephanie Sun.
Thank you so much, Peace Island Institute, especially Syed and Rob, for this award. Such a true honor. And to be honest, I'm very surprised for receiving this award, because I'm still not sure if I ever deserve to be called a hero. And I want to say congratulations to all the fellow awardees, including some of my friends. All of them are amazing leaders, and they definitely deserve to be a hero, to be called hero. Sure, first thing I want to say is thank you. I want to take the whole night to thank so many people who have been helping me to get me here, to help me to be who I am today. But I know you have been spending a wonderful night here and you all want to go home soon, so I will not keep you long. But I do want to take this opportunity to share with you a little bit about where I am from.
because many Asian Americans are very often to be asked this question, where are you from? It's just the question we just heard from the other awardee. So myself, born and raised in China, as the first one to go to college in my family. After receiving my master's degree in China, I first worked in Samsung in their cell phone divisions on marketing, strategic planning. Then I worked as a tenure-track college lecturer. And later I decided to pursue my PhD study in international relations in South Korea. When I was enjoying my study and international student life, my father was found to have aggressive cancer. At that time, my mother had been a housewife after being laid off for more than 20 years. And my father was the only income resource in my family. As the only child in my family, I decided to stop my study to work, to earn money for the expensive treatment fee, the treatment for my father. Later on, when the doctors and hospitals in China told me to take my father home to wait for death, I took my parents to South Korea for treatment as the last hope. Every day, I worked from 8 a.m. to at least 9 p.m. in the company, then took a bus and train for 1 hour to the hospital to communicate with my father's doctors through a notebook and communicate with my parents who didn't speak any Korean or English. The hospital generously allowed a special case for me to allow me to use the patient's bathroom to take shower and sleep on the chairs of the lobby every night. And I had to get up by 5 a.m. before the cleaning started every morning in the lobby. In the morning, I chatted a little bit with my parents, ordered their 3 meals for the day, then went to work. Eventually, my father still passed away in South Korea, but with less pain than many cancer patients suffer in China. My father was my mom's first and only love, and almost her entire world. So I was very worried about my mom because she had difficulty facing things in China and South Korea that all reminded her about my father. With the hope to give my mother a new life, I came to the US, starting to build a new life on this new continent by myself, by all my own means. First, I was hoping to continue my PhD study in UPenn, hopefully with a scholarship. I sat in the class in UPenn, communicated with professors, and did some volunteer work. Soon, I realized the difficulty of getting a scholarship with my major, because I definitely don't have the money to pay the tuition, and also the big differences in the education system in the US and Asia. I thought my work experiences at that time already in 2 Fortune 100 global corporations in 2 different countries, and my communicating in 4 languages would make it very easy for me to find a job here, just like in Asia. But shortly, I also realized I was wrong. It took a while, but luckily I eventually got a job based on my volunteer work at the Welcoming Center, Randy just mentioned, a nonprofit organization helping thousands of immigrants, just like myself, for 20 years. Since I experienced hardship myself, I never stopped volunteering to help and advocate for vulnerable minority and immigrant community members, just like myself. Even when I later worked in a big corporation again, or government, which you can read from my profile in the program book. Majority of immigrants' journey are not easy, especially immigrants who came to this country as adults like myself. And that's the reason why I wanted to share my story with you.
When the community celebrates my work, resulting in moving the Pennsylvania election system from bilingual to trilingual, adding the first Asian language, Chinese, which is also the third most commonly used language in Pennsylvania, in the US, and also in Philadelphia. People don't see the darkness. People don't see the darkness at 4 a.m., in which I was writing newspaper stories after my day job to advocate for marginalized minorities until I have 2 nosebleeds at the same time because I was physically so tired. When people say how lucky I was to be appointed by a governor as the first ever female immigrant to be an executive director of any Pennsylvania Governor's Advisory Commissions, people don't see those years when I work on 4 part-time jobs at the same time, still without medical insurance, and couldn't go to doctor when I was severely sick and couldn't fall asleep. When people say immigrants and Asians earn money and take away jobs in America, people don't hear that many immigrants who came to this country as adults told me that they work 14 hours every day in their first 10 years in this country. My story is just one of many stories of immigrants in this country. I used to feel uncomfortable when many people called me a leader. And now I'm still not sure if I'm enough to be called a hero, which is a huge word for me. But when many immigrants reached out to me and told me that they saw hope in me, that an immigrant could succeed in public service, and the voice with accent could be heard, could be valued. And when many community members who I know or don't know reach out to me when crises happen, such as anti-Asian hate and discrimination, I realized how many people see themselves in me and have their faith and hope on me. No matter what people call me, I need to be better at who I am, to take the honorable responsibility to make more efforts to bring meaningful change to people's lives. Thank you for listening to me. My speech is about to end. Thank you. I know every one of you will be super kind to applaud for me, and I have a favor to ask. As I mentioned earlier, that my career in this country started from the Welcoming Center. The nonprofit helps and encourages me along my journey since then, which I'm forever grateful. Sitting with my mom tonight are the Welcome Center's president and CEO Anush Gupta and the board chair Holly Law. The favor I want to ask you, can you wave your hand to let people see it? And my mom together. Actually, my mom definitely don't know what I was talking about. Thank you. And again, my official favor to ask you is, instead of give your applause to me, please help me to thank the Welcoming Center by giving your applause to them. Thank you. And I want to invite my mom on the stage.
Hi. I was going to go over there. Okay. Why don't you come over here? So thank you so much. Oh my God. So that stepson, this is the Peace Islands Institute Public Heroes Award, and it is awarded to you for resilience, perseverance, brilliance, leadership. And but this says, in recognition of your outstanding service. I'm going to write these things next year. But anyway, congratulations. This is phenomenal. And again, thank you for thank the Pennsylvania State Senate for commendation to you and for all you and you continue to do. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you give her just a small chance to translate for her mom?
Oh. I mean, do you want me to translate?
Stephanie, would you translate for your mom?
And thank you so much. And I'm very greedy. Can I ask another favor? Can I also invite Lee Hall Holly from Welcoming Center? And also, I serve on the board of ADL, and the team is here to support us. Can you also come up? Then we take a picture very quickly. Thank you. I just want to appreciate your support. Thank you.
No, I'm just going to stay here.
Thank you all. Right here. Do you have everything? Okay.
So, just a couple of things. Stay with us for another minute. Remember QR codes. This is the way you find out more about Peace Islands. You can write wonderful things about the night. You can also make a donation. So don't forget the QR codes. So first of all, I think we should, another round of applause for Peace Islands. And this man right here. And let me just say that we have heard from 6 heroes. We just heard from Stephanie's son, William Slaton, Dennis Mireles, Marwan Kreidie, Tanya Jeter, and Jacqueline Romero. And when you think of their qualities, the intelligence, the perseverance, the resilience, the passion, and I would say the empathy that each one of them feels and has exhibited in their work has made us in this room tonight stronger together. So I thank you and have a great. But the final thing is, I have been commanded upon pain of death to invite all of the people who introduced the various honorees to come up and have your picture taken. And anybody else who wants to have their picture taken, because I think everyone has had their picture taken. And so thank you. And you were a great audience. Thank you so much for staying.
Good job.